It sat for bone stock 15 years, just bone stock. After that, I decided I'm gonna do something to it because I was at the time building EG hatch. I had 602 horse. I had the Wings West Del Sol car. I had my high school Civic that I had just gotten rid of, that I drove, that was sponsored by Ground Designs 2000 back in the day in 97.
Wow.
So I've been in the game for a long time. So finally I said, you know what, I'm gonna build it.
Alrighty, everyone. Welcome back to Automotive Anatomy. Today we have Clint. Clint,
How you doing,
thank you
buddy?
so much for making the time for us, man. I truly appreciate it, and this is going to be a joy. So tell us, man, what do you drive?
What we have here is a AP1 S2000. Pretty much what you see is what you get right here. I've had it since 2020. No, 1999. My bad.
Wow, 1
Yeah.
year, 1 month
It's only
old.
1 year old, sorry.
You did all this by yourself. All right, so when did you pick it up?
I picked it up at a Honda dealership. The story behind the whole car is when the S2000 hype came out, I told my parents, I said, there's an S2000 here at the Honda dealership. So I had in my mind what I was doing, which I'll get to that in a little bit. I told my parents it was there. My mom wanted to check it out. She wanted a convertible. They went and test drove it, picked it up, took it home. So they had it for a year. They put maybe 5,000 miles on the car. Nothing on the car. And another year went by. It had 5,800 on it. And at that time, I just bought a truck. So my parents, even though my mom wanted this car, she can't drive stick, so my dad drove it. So they asked if I wanted the car, so I said, okay. They're like, I want your truck though. I said, done deal. So this is how I got the S2000.
And so, what was your vision for the S2000 when you first picked it up?
At the vision at the time, the same thing as that, as my dad, I let cars sit. I don't do nothing with them really. It sat for bone stock 15 years, just bone stock. After that, I decided I'm gonna do something to it because I was at the time building EG hatch. I had 602 horse. I had the Wings West Del Sol car. I had my high school Civic that I had just gotten rid of, that I drove, that was sponsored by Ground Designs 2000 back in the day in 97.
Wow.
So I've been in the game for a long time. So finally I said, you know what, I'm gonna build it. So I started putting a carbon hood on. I put some SSR 3-piece wheels on it and some exhaust, and it sat that way for 3 years. So finally I said, you know what, I want another boosted car. I decided to boost this one. So I boosted it, had it for a week. I took it to work. And after I had it for a week, I took it to work, and I worked night shift, so it was kind of cold. I was sitting on ball tires at the time. And I was cruising about 40 miles an hour, going home, not doing nothing crazy in it because I didn't really know how the car drove. And after that, it kind of lost control, and I went up an embankment. Came back down. I said, oh my God, I just totaled my car, not knowing what I did to it.
Mm-hmm.
And after that, the insurance company came out, checked over the car, they appraised it. At the time, it only had 65,000 miles on it. And they appraised it at like 18,000, so they didn't total it out, even though I did $12,000 worth of suspension damage to it. So at that time, I got in the car, and they fixed it. I told them, I want to do certain things to it, so I'm gonna make your life easier. I'll order all the parts so you guys can just put them on. They're like, well, we never had anyone do that. So I was like, trust me, I'll make your life easy. So I started ordering all the parts. I wanted to do a AP2 conversion front end on it. So that's what I did. So I ordered the bumper, the OEM lip for it, and I even went to the extent, because I had to replace the fender liners on it, I put OEM fender liner, AP2 fender liners, so all the bolt holes would line up for the clips. So that's what we did. And in order to get a AP2 bumper on the front, from it being an AP1, I replaced a crash bumper too on the front instead of cutting the two sides, so it won't star the headlights. So I put the AP2 one on it to keep the original rigidity to it. So that's what I did. So the whole front end is completely AP2 factory OEM except for the headlights.
Gotcha.
So after all that, that's when this effect came of going snowball on it. So I had busted up the rims, so the money that I got from the insurance is how I got the Volks, and then it just started going in after that. So after getting the motor built by Ballet Performance, they supercharged it and everything, and I swapped over the AP1 transmission to an AP2. And after I got all the supercharging stuff done is all my sponsors that came in now. And I didn't even have a vision for it at the time. So this is what I came up with now.
That's awesome, man. We love it, man.
Thank you.
Definitely, I'm glad that you're a Honda head and that you kept in the Honda game for a while.
And since 97.
97. Oh, I thought it was 2020.
Oh yeah, 1 year. 1 year.
1 month.
Oh no, 1 month, yes.
You've been in the game for a long time, for 1 month.
Only took 1 month to do this entire car done.
Teenagers nowadays, man, they think they've been in the game for a long time. Tell us a little about CT2 _ Designs. What is that?
CT2 is basically, it's me and my wife's side business that we do. We do shirts, heat press, a lot of construction company stuff. So it was just a side thing that I was doing for my brother-in-law, and then that snowballed, and now I'm constantly busy with my real job and doing that on the side.
I'm glad. And thank you for helping us out. You are actually the one who's making the shirts for us, so we're very excited about that, and I do appreciate your business.
It was my pleasure, man. My pleasure. I had fun doing it.
Hopefully the channel keeps growing and we keep making business.
Oh yes, yeah. We'll definitely keep in touch and keep this going.
Sweet, man. All right, Clint, tell us what we got going on in the front end.
Front end, that's a AP2 front end with a APR front splitter on the front that I didn't think about drilling into that thing at the time when I put the supports on there. But oh well, it is what it is. Okay. And then we have, those are all my sponsors on the hood, which is Craftworks, Skunk 2 Grams, APR Performance, VIS, Downforce, Ballet, and Vinyl Mayhem.
Nice. Sweet. A lot of support, huh?
A little bit, yeah. Took a lot of money, but they came around.
Tell us a little bit about your suspension pieces.
Suspension on here is all Skunk 2 Pro C, fully adjustable dampening, front and rear on there. Also, I have front roll center adjusters on there in order to fit the Volk 17 by 9.5 all the way around.
Nice.
On 255 40 17s.
Beautiful. Meaty.
Yeah, they're a little meaty. It's a little heavy steering, but you know, it takes some while to get used to, but it's not as staggered, so I like it a lot better. It handles a lot better.
That's cool, man.
And then along with that, we have Downforce carbon fiber side splitters on the side. And of course, when we go around the back and all this, I have a APR GT300 wing.
Perfect size, by the way.
Yeah, I was going to go with a little bit bigger one, but I was like, you know what, I'm going to take some measurements and see what it'll look like. So it would have extended another 3 inches on each side if I got the other one. So I said, nah. So I went with APR on them. They helped me out on sponsorship. They gave me partial sponsorship on this. And then I also went with VIS, which shout out to Fred over there for helping me out with this. He's one of my good friends over there. He hooked me up with the trunk over there, with the VIS carbon trunk. I even left it OG. I didn't even want to drill out the keyhole, so I left it alone. So no one can actually get in there. Then on the bottom, I have a carbon fiber EVS single exhaust cover to cover the other hole, because if anyone knows that S2000s, they have 2 exhausts that go out the back. So I didn't want to have a extended hole there with nothing in there.
Gotcha.
So I covered it up and put the EVS carbon. I guess you would call it like a little diffuser, I guess. Then we also have the on the back is the 70 millimeter HKS Mega Power exhaust.
Tell us a little bit about your whole exhaust system.
It's 3-inch all the way back. Originally, I had a Skunk 2 dual exhaust on it that, of course, in the crash got dented. Mm-hmm. So I took that off and went with this because I needed actually more flow for the supercharger on there. to make it a little bit more horse. So that's why I went with the 3-inch HKS exhaust on there.
It's comfortable. It's good.
It's a little droney,
Okay.
but it for what it is. I mean, I'm so used to it.
Yeah.
After having the Skunk 2 exhaust, it's a lot more subtle.
Okay.
So yeah, I like it a lot better. It has that nice tone to it.
That's cool, man. What are the future plans for the suspension and the outside exterior?
Suspension, I still got to do some sway bars under it. I try to probably wind up going with New Speed or I think it's White Line Racing. So I might go with them. Not sure yet. As in the livery that's on here right now, it's gonna be getting taken off. And now I've actually gotten a sponsorship with Mobile One.
Okay.
So in order for me to get product through them, this has got to come off. Show them how
Kinda
serious
makes
I am.
sense, right?
Yeah, exactly. Repsol, if anyone knows what Repsol is, by the way, that's an AMA Superbike MotoGP. That's basically crotch rockets is how I got inspired to put this livery wrap on here. I want to keep the Honda theme with a Honda car.
That's awesome.
So that's the whole reason why I went with Repsol. It's an Italian oil company back in Italy.
Nice.
So
Little
now,
history on this, there.
yeah. So that's the whole reason why I went with,
learned that
with
all
this.
in 1 month.
Yeah, exactly.
That's crazy.
1 month, I learned all this stuff. So, so in order to show that I'm serious and all this other stuff, they said I have it in the bag. I'll be full sponsored by them, getting oil products and everything. I had to tear this off and put a Mobile One graphic that I'm going to do myself, me and my wife.
Cool.
So
Wow.
it'll be fun. It'll be an adventure to do.
Definitely. That's awesome, man.
So
Sweet.
it'll be good. I'm excited.
All right, Clint, tell us about the interior, man. What do you got going on?
With the interior right now, it's bone stock. The only really 2 upgrades I did to it is a 2018, or it's a brand new Civic Type R round shift knob. I didn't really care for the oval one, so I went with that. And the only other cluster is a EDM cluster that came out of a 2005 S2000 that, if you notice, it's an AP2 cluster with a 9000 red line.
Beautiful.
Most AP2s here in the US are 8000. So that's the whole reason why I went with that one, because it's an AP1 that had a 9000 red line on it. And that was very hard to find. They only made that cluster for 2 years.
That interior's freaking man. It looks newer than when it first came out of the showroom.
I mean, of course, trying to get out of the side bolster, that's the only
Yeah.
little cushion portion
How old
out of
again
it.
is this car?
20 years old.
That's crazy. That's crazy to think that this car's 20 years old.
20 years old.
Wow. That's kind of clean.
You could probably eat an egg off it if you wanted to.
Well, what are we staring at?
What you have here is it's a F20, still stock, original motor that came with the car. I have a 3881 Kraftwerk supercharger with a 100mm pulley that's putting 10 pounds of boost in. It's valve covers powder coated. It's illusion orange with a metallic flake in it, which
Beautiful.
really can't see it unless you're in the sun. Still has the stock intake manifold on it, but it is bored out to a 70mm and match ported to the throttle body that is match ported also, that's bored out to a 70mm. The whole internals are fully built eagle rods. It's got CP pistons, full heads rebuilt. It's got AP2 retainers in it.
Hey, fella.
How you doing,
How
buddy?
you doing?
Is that faster than my Kia?
No, your Kia's way faster.
Awesome.
Yeah.
What is this?
It's a Honda S2000, buddy.
That big engine?
Small.
Small engine.
2.0 liter.
Good size.
It's also got the Ballet Performance Tri-Y race header on it. No cat.
Of course.
straight
Whenever
pipe.
you're ready, I'll race you.
Okay, buddy, sounds good.
Thank you. So they're gonna take our heads, man.
Hey,
Let's go.
it is what it is.
No Kia. Fucking kids. Stupid ass teenagers. Walks away.
Yeah, no kidding.
All right, so you had you're saying the header?
The header on here is a Ballet Performance Tri-Y race header that they built themselves. Supposedly it makes more horsepower than the Jay's Racing from their dyno tuning that they've done. It's also got a Ballet Performance dual core radiator. It's got 2 catch cans by Radium. What else she has? Oh, CCW cams in it.
It's beautiful, man.
Thank you.
What kind of power?
It's putting down right now 480 to the wheel.
And is that enough for you? You're good with that, or is that what you were hoping, or what is it that you were hoping?
I didn't think it was gonna be that high.
Oh, okay.
But it's a lot to handle.
It is?
It is a lot to handle. It being rear wheel drive, and me being so used to front wheel drive. I can handle the 600 horse EGs all day, but a 480 rear wheel drive car, it's a little different. It gets a little sideways real quick.
What are the future plans for the engine compartment?
I got a couple things coming in right now. I have a AEM fuel rail that's completely polished out. I got AEM fuel regulator. I have another intake manifold at the house right now. It's completely polished. So I'll be putting that on. And then I'm gonna just probably be redressing the whole thing, start chroming out a bunch of stuff. If not polish, whatever I can't chrome, I'm gonna polish. So I want to dress it up a lot nicer. It's clean now, but
I love it.
I still want
The
to.
way it is, it's so functional. It's not too. It's just perfect.
Well, thank you. I still want to just take a couple little things. I just want to chrome out little things. Oh, it's got Graham's 2000 cc injectors in it too. Also, I wanted to switch it over to E85, but over here in where I'm at, there's one pump that only has E85.
Yeah,
so
that's kind of a problem.
yeah, trying to plan my trip out is a little different.
Yeah, it's good. But it's making good power with the.
Yeah,
gas.
oh yeah, on pump gas, it's fine.
That's it. You don't need
Yeah.
any more. I mean, wow, just.
Only other upgrade I'm going to do is I'm going to switch over my fuel management system. Right now it has Doctronics, so I'm going to switch it over to AEM Infinity.
Okay. Perfect, dude. This engine compartment is just wow, it's gorgeous. Sweet.
Probably the only other thing I'll do is the spa fans in there. I want to get rid of these big old bulky OEM fans in there.
A little thinner.
Yeah, they're a little thinner, a lot more airflow, keep it cooler, which it doesn't heat up anyways, so it's just like, I'd rather have just the extra insurance on it.
Definitely.
Honda grease to plaster in there, so that's what I did. So I just lubed up everything and it's always stayed crisp. She gets a little sideways. Let's see, this is under half throttle. It doesn't go. When I go half, you can hear the VTEC popping. It's weird.
That's cool. You get VTEC and supercharged.
Yeah, at the same time.
That's cool.
It's definitely a fun little car. I enjoyed it. It still took me a while to get used to watching the new cluster when I had it. The funny thing is, I had this cluster for 2 years before I actually installed it in the car. Because when I bought it, it had 65,000 miles on the cluster. I just didn't know what the actual mileage was until I would plug it in. But when I bought it from a broker back in the UK, it said it has 65,000. So I waited on my original cluster to hit 65,000. So when it did, I hit 65,000 and a little more and change, about 65,100 or so. So when I took this cluster out, I rewired the whole thing myself. I did everything.
No prior experience?
Nothing.
Wow.
I just kept reading over on the forums and everything and what we needed to do. So instead of me spending $400 to have someone do it, I was like, I'm good with wiring, so I can do it myself.
Right. All right, Clint. tell us a little bit about some of the future plans that you may have forgotten and any shout-outs.
Future plans, let's see. Oh, I forgot to mention that I got in contact last year with Brembo brakes. So they're actually going to be help supporting me on putting some Brembo brakes on here. So
Freaking
that's
cool.
going to be amazing. A lot more stopping power for this thing. So when I get with them, within a couple months, so I'm going to put some Brembo brakes on here. My other future plan is a hardtop. I definitely want to get a hardtop. That's the original 20-year-old hardtop or soft top that's on here now.
Crazy.
With no blistering, no nothing. Has one little slight cut in it, but other than that, I'm gonna put a hardtop. I don't know which one. I wanted to find a OEM one, but I'm not trying to spend $5,000 right now on that. So I'm gonna get a hold of VIS and probably put the Mugen just full carbon on there, double layer. So
That's cool.
I'm gonna do that. I want to give some shout outs to Team Impact. I've been with them for about 3 years now. They've treated me good, cool people over there. Shout out to all my sponsors, which is Group A Autosport, which they're the originators of Craftworks, Skunk 2, Grams. Shout out to APR Performance for partial sponsorship and VIS, and then Downforce and Ballet, and then one of my really good friends that's in the sticker company that's helped me along with this too as well is Vinyl Mayhem. So shout out to Eric over there.
Sweet, man. Well, you know what? I really enjoyed the surprise. I didn't know the car was supercharged. So that was news to me. It was a good news though. And can't wait for the future plans. Can't wait for the new livery. I think that's gonna be pretty cool. I really like the history behind the livery because I didn't know about it. Can't wait to see the future plans. Put some bigger brakes there. It's just the car is gonna look amazing as it is. So.
I appreciate it. Thank
Clint,
you.
Thank you so much, man.
I appreciate
Sorry,
it,
my
man.
hand's really cold.
Oh no, it's good. It's a little cold up here in the high desert.
And pretty amazing what you've done in 1 month, man.
Oh yeah, that too. Yeah, only own the car 1 month. I've gotten a lot of stuff done through being through a wreck, body shop, all in 1 month.
I don't know, one body shop. All right, man. Well, thank you so much, and best of luck to CT2 Designs. And
I appreciate
on top of that, the actual car build, man. I appreciate it.
I appreciate it. Thank you. It was my
you.
pleasure.